Hello and welcome to another video done by us here at the Universitas Islam Internasional Indonesia. My name is Farish Noor, and today I want to talk about something that is actually very relevant for scholars like us, students and lecturers alike. And what I want to address today is the question of truth and raise the question, can and do facts change over time? Now, of course, this is something that sounds intuitively wrong, because in academia, it's often said that the whole purpose of scholarship, of academic work, is to discover the truth and to write the truth, to record the truth, and to present facts, propositions that are factually correct. But is this actually the case? Now, let me talk a bit about myself first. I am a political historian, and much of my work involves the study of states, organizations, individuals over time, and looking at historical processes over time. Now, of course, in the work that I do, much of my work relies on archival information that I hope is factually correct, and I try my best to write a critical and deconstructive history of colonialism in Southeast Asia. But apart from my main preoccupation at work, I also have other academic interests, and one of them happens to be astrophysics, which is something I read a lot about when I'm free. And so I want to make a reference to certain discoveries that have occurred in this other field, a field that has nothing to do with my own work. So in astrophysics, we assume that astrophysics, as it talks about space and planets, would be a factual science. But is this true? Now, let me give you an example. Many, many decades ago, when I was a student at school, I learned science like all my contemporaries, and we were taught about planets and the solar system. And when I was young, around the age of 10, we were taught about the planets that exist in our solar system, and often asked the question, how many planets are there in our solar system? Now, when I was 10 years old, there was a correct answer, and the correct answer was 9, beginning from the planet closest to the Sun. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And that would have been the answer that I would have given in the 1970s, and that would have been the correct answer. Now, let's say I ask you the question again today. Would it still be the correct answer? Well, many things have happened from the 70s until now, and the answer today, the correct answer to the question, would be 8. There are 8 planets in our solar system: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Pluto, and Neptune. Right? So what happened to Pluto? What happened to Pluto? It's not as if the planet disappeared, but something very important happened in 2006, when, as a result of the discovery of other celestial bodies like Aries, Ceres, Makemake, Haumea, astronomers all over the world decided that they needed a new definition for what a planet was. And in 2006, a new category was introduced, which is that of the dwarf planet. And Pluto is now regarded as a dwarf planet, along with Ceres, Aries, Makemake, and others. So the correct answer today would be 8 planets, with many other dwarf planets in our solar system. So here is the question I need to ask, right? Was I right when I gave the answer in the 1970s, or am I right to give the answer 8 planets today? When was I right, or was I wrong? Now here's the conundrum that we face. I was right. In the 1970s, if I was asked how many planets are there in the universe, in our solar system, the answer would have been 9. But if I was asked the same question today, the correct answer would be 8. So what has happened? What has happened? Has reality changed? No. But definitions, terminology, classifications have altered and shifted over time as a result of historical processes and human intervention. So why is this important to me as a political historian? It's important to me as a political historian because it reminds me that in my own domain, when I study politics in history, what I regard as facts may be altered or changed or challenged or contradicted as a result of other discoveries. And this is happening all the time. It's happening all the time in all the social sciences. And I think what we in the humanities and the social sciences can learn from the hard sciences, those of us like myself who are in sociology, anthropology, political science, history, we can learn a lot from the disciplines of the hard sciences, including astronomy and astrophysics, because we can see that the entire academic field is not as stable as we think. Yeah? New discoveries are happening all the time, and new discoveries may radically alter our understanding of the world around us. Now, whether that involves, material reality, chemical compounds, planets, celestial bodies, or even historical facts. And so for us who are doing academic work, students and academics alike, while we try our best to seek correct answers, facts, truth, we also have to remember that what constitutes truth does actually change over time. And there are plenty of examples of how this has happened, both in the hard sciences and in the social sciences. I think it's very important for us, and particularly for students, to, on the one hand, do their very best in discovering facts, analyzing facts, produce propositions that are correct. But we must also have a certain degree of humility and understanding and perhaps wisdom, in recognizing that the work that we do can and might, in the future be contradicted by future discoveries. Does this mean that we stop working? No, of course not. We don't stop working. We continue working. We continue doing the work that we do. And I do the work that I do with the knowledge that perhaps in 10 or 20 years' time, some of my findings might be proven to be incorrect or incomplete. But that's fine. That's perfectly all right, yeah? The nature of academic work means that all of us, students and academics alike, lecturers alike, we are part of the same academic community, and we are all contributing to this body of knowledge. This body of knowledge needs to be expanded. And in the process of expanding this body of knowledge, many of the presuppositions, many of the assumptions that we have that might guide our work also need to be questioned and challenged, and sometimes also discarded. It doesn't mean that we fall into relativism where everything is true. That's not the case, yeah? That's not the case. But it does mean that humility is a very important component of the work that we do. And we should all be aware of the fact that we are fallible human beings. We try our best in our academic production, our academic work, but we must also remember that whatever truths that we discover are there to be tested and questioned and challenged by other academics as well. That's the thing that makes academic work productive. It's the thing that makes academia a living experience for all of us.